Hi, 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 hi. Welcome to Money, Sex, and God. I am super duper excited for this week's guest. He'll be on in just a bit. We're going to talk about some really juicy stuff and really get to know him, which I'm looking forward to because I've been wanting to get to know him for a while. I'm just waiting here for him to pop on. I'm in my lovely bedroom because I'm in New York and there's always like all this construction everywhere. So my office space has all this construction now. So I'm greeting you from here. Let me just get myself all set up. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Kevin's here. Let me find him. There you are.
Hello. Oh, we're vertical. Hey.
Hey.
We did it.
We did it. It's so good to see
Yes.
you.
So good to see you again, Queen. The only times I do see you.
The only times is on Facebook Live, and I'm totally okay with getting to know you this way.
It's great.
It feels really
It's a
good.
very authentic way to get to know someone.
It is, and very connected, right? Because everyone else gets to watch it happen.
Totally.
So you've been traveling all over the place and
Non-stop.
doing everything all at once. Can you tell me and tell everyone a little bit of what you've been doing? Because it's been pretty badass.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. I'm riding a big wave right now of just non-stop masterminds, retreats, conferences, workshops. And
Can
I've
you
been
drop
riding
some
the,
names? Drop some names in. What have you been doing?
yeah, so Bulletproof Biohacking Conference in the Beverly Hills Hilton was the last one. I'm now en
Yes.
route to meet my ride in downtown LA to head to Sacred Sons Convergence, 4-day rites of passage men's initiation retreat where I'll be facilitating. So that's blessed. And then before that, it was like Superhero Academy with the Art of Choosing Love Squad in Costa Rica, 2 light leaderships, um, a retreat in Tulum, like all over Costa Rica and Vision Festival, like superhero camp there. So it's been full on Wizard
Mm.
Weekend. Shout out to that squad, Dan Raphael. Like, yeah, my it's like my
I am
event
so
career has
glad.
finally blossomed, where I can just
Finally, well,
MC and
yeah,
surf through all of the events.
all the time, man. That's like, I'm so glad that the universe is like picking up on, like, let's bring Kevin to all of our events because now you get to just ride, and we'll see you here in New York soon, and we're
Yeah,
really
that's
excited
that's the
about that.
next one after Sacred Sons. Will be at the assemblage for Katie Pasternak. So
Yes, so
yeah.
good, so good. Um, well, what do you want to talk about? I want to know about you more. I want to know about how'd you get here? How'd you get to like going and being at Bulletproof and Katie Pasternak's event and traveling around the world doing all these huge things? Like where what's your journey?
I mean, it was a journey of transmuting and transfiguring money, sex, and God and goddess.
That's right. Boom, mic drop. We're done. We can
Yeah,
finish
like
the
we
live.
got to tie it in, tie it in. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just showing up is what the first thing that came up. Like,
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger says this, Jim Quick, like so many of like these great epic influencers say this. It's like more than half of the game is just showing up,
Yeah.
and some say 50%. I feel like it's like 80% is showing up, and that's what I did. I just started showing up to every event, even when I didn't have the money or didn't have the time or like was
Hmm.
scared and I was like, who am I to be here? I'm not an influencer. I showed
Hmm.
up and I learned through observation and through experience. And then my network grew and, about 3 years ago, I started hosting my own events. Well, really, I was hosting my own events like almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, just having gatherings are very intentional and curated. And yeah, it's been a journey of building the tribe and facilitating the transformation that I never had growing up in Texas. That's actually the
Mm.
core essence of why I love this and have gotten so good at it.
That's what I want to know more about.
Mm.
Tell me about what you didn't have in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas was great. as for what it offered, which was sports culture. I played football, I played soccer, I played kickball. Like I loved sports and the vibe, but then there
Mm,
wasn't any depth. There was no depth. You know, it was just let's get drunk, let's talk about girls. You know, let's fight. You know, it's just like pretty basic masculine camaraderie, and that got old
mm,
after about 1 year of that.
mm,
Um, and then the other place I found camaraderie was in Boy Scouts. So I went all the way through to Eagle Scout. I was a leader throughout the whole thing. That was where I got my leadership training. I got connection to nature because I was constantly
mm.
backpacking, kayaking, canoeing through the U.S. Um, but what I really wanted was like ritual. I didn't know
Yeah.
this because that's why like Catholic Church, while I hated it, I also loved certain pieces because it was
Mm,
ceremonial, it was ritual. And
mm.
so and I wanted like the emotional depth. I felt like a alien in my community, and
Yes.
I found my friends in like deep in nature, or reading fantasy sci-fi literature, or reading mythology, or like playing a
Hmm.
lot of. I got really into gaming and became like a full
Mm.
blown
No
like
way.
video gamer. Yeah,
I
that was
can't
like a.
see you doing that.
I know. Now it's like so weird, but I came
Yeah.
up out of that, and it actually it
Mm.
taught me a lot, and it was like a straight up addiction at some point because I got
Yeah.
so into it. It was like an escape.
Mm.
It was a drug for me. Um,
Mm. Mm.
so
Wow.
yeah, like moving to California, joining the conscious community, speeding it up, and like finding yoga, finding meditation, finding pranayama, like practices to do with people, and finding martial arts. Like I was a
Yeah.
fencer, I did kendo, I did aikido. Like that became like the fuck yes. Like, oh, there are other people that want to do this. Oh,
Yeah.
like I can invite people to do this and actually
Hmm.
start being a leader. And um,
Hmm.
it all
Hmm.
culminated. I had a house in Santa Cruz when I first moved to California, and
Mm.
anyone from that period of my life will remember. I just started throwing the Learning Bazaar, which was like a 20-minute speed dating workshop university that was free. That was like potluck, and I just invite all my favorite friends up to this epic house in the mountains in Santa Cruz, and I was like curating like mini conferences then. And that's how I met Ryan and Jordan, which we would later become Mystic Misfit.
Hmm.
And that's also how I met like just a lot of allies at the time. And it was no effort. It was just like I remember
No,
doing it. I
it
remembered how to
doesn't
do
have
it.
to be, right? Like when that's, I mean, what I'm hearing is that you started just following your spirit, right?
Yeah.
And what spirit, where you were supposed to dance and where your spirit was supposed to land and dance and play in. And so like, what do you think, like incarnated here as Kevin, what do you think your spirit's why is? Why is it here? Why are you on the earth this time around?
It's a good, it's a great question asked a human. I mean, in
This
this
is how I get.
body,
This is
in
how I
this
get to know
timeline,
people.
I'm here to articulate. It's great. It's great. Yeah, I really feel as though I'm here to articulate and help initiate the new paradigm and new golden age. And that involves like tantra and like masculine feminine alchemy. That involves transformation and just like shedding through layers. Like you don't even need plant medicine. You don't need
Mm,
like all the crazy trainings. Like
mm-mm.
I feel like I'm getting really good at just stripping away layers and being kind of a destroyer, but like from love, like cutting away the bullshit so we can get to the love.
Yeah.
And that looks like events. It looks like in-person work. It looks like um, I'm a cosmic broker and a galactic negotiator. So I like to piece people together. I'll give you the best intro. I'll find you the best ally. I'll introduce you on
Mm,
stage. I'll MC your event. I'll invite you to my retreat. Like I just love weaving in the network that I'm in this ecosystem. So that's a big one.
that's gorgeous. Thank you. I love what your spirit's doing. I'm curious, the people watching, Kevin and I have been getting this kind of feeling that we're supposed to be doing something together at some point. So if you're watching our live and you're seeing us together, drop in what you think we should do. Like, what should we create?
Great
What's
question.
happening between us? Like, just as you're watching us play, because I see something here and I haven't landed on what it is yet, and I'm just feeling in, but like feels good. So
There's something.
there's something. There's something. Tell us about. coming into your masculine and what that was like for you.
Yeah. This is something I was actually talking to a dear sister about like yesterday. Um, I love my father dearly. Didn't have a good template there. I wasn't taught. Um, Coaches and mentors,
Mm.
at various times definitely like lifted me up. Um, but yeah, I went very yin. I feel like I kind of like I could wear the mask, and I was a competitor, an athlete. Like I love to win, so I was pretty savage there. I learned one kind of masculinity, but not the actual kind as I understand it now. Like integrity with your word, being impeccable with presence, being
Mm.
decisive, being like
Mm.
that very powerful but like tender-hearted man. That is real
Mm.
masculinity to me, and still has the ability to kill if necessary. So did not have that at all, and went very yin, like with the artistic parts of me. I wanted to be an author. At one point when I left California and just sold everything and backpacked through Asia, it was yoga, meditation, reading all day. I went very yin and kind of into a feminine surrender state,
Mm.
and became like this yogi, and somewhat disembodied at some points.
I was just gonna say, like, super disembodied. Like,
Totally.
I know that paradigm, and I work with
Right.
those guys a lot, and yeah, they're like floating in
Yeah,
meditation land.
and
Yeah,
it's beautiful for a time. Like
beautiful.
I
Yeah,
gained like 10 lifetimes of wisdom in that time because of how
totally.
much I could study and just be in that state. But it wasn't serving me. Like my relationship failed in that time. Like the best relationship I had up until that point with another yogi that was like tantric and awakening and just insanely powerful. But I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in my masculine, so my
Mm-hmm.
finances were fucked. My calendar
Mm-hmm.
was fucked.
Mm-hmm.
My word was like, I was just this like floating artist yogi. And
Oh
so
my God,
after
there's
that,
so many of them. Thank you for saying this
there's a
because
lot.
this is
There's a
such
lot.
a trap that the conscious masculine community.
Conscious men get trapped in this all the time.
Yeah, and
And
then the women are like, "You're cute," and
yeah, you're
yeah,
cute, but if we hook up, like, will you show up for me at all? And will you put in
yeah,
hooks and create a
right.
false light
And then
paradigm? Yeah,
usually not, and then the women have to mother them, and then it
exactly. And
becomes this
coddle.
fucking weird dynamic. So I'm so glad you're calling it.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the whole shebang, and
Yeah,
it was painful, and I would never wish that upon a man. So
yeah.
this actually is what a lot of my male clients were in the past. Like they're changing now, but were men like
Hmm.
this, and helping them understand to be an actual man. Like you got to get your shit together. Like you can't
Mm.
be emotionally incestuous with your partner. You can't be financially incestuous. You got to be like, but long
Fucking
story short,
sovereignty.
sovereignty.
Mm-hmm.
The path of entrepreneurship has really been a big part of that for me.
Yeah.
And it was like just doing very intense work on myself, which was, I got really involved in bioenergetics, had multiple mentors in that. So for anyone that doesn't know, bioenergetics is like very intense breath work and like family constellation and like body psychotherapy. It's not like you processing and talking, it's you acting out and tapping into really deep places. And I had
Mm.
with zero medicine, just with
Right.
breath, movement, and like embodiment, the most psychedelic and cathartic experiences where, I was reduced to a child and an animal and just layers of just mother father trauma and just so much of that work. I
Uh-huh.
really dove deep in that, and that helped me
Uh-huh.
kind of like initiate into like, oh wow. And also like cutting ties with the mother and father. This is a big one,
Yeah.
that I'm excited to like talk about and embody with the men at Sacred Sons that I'm heading to right now. Is like, if there's any part of a man that's still connected to his mother specifically, he can't
Mm-hmm.
individuate into manhood. So that
Oh,
means if
thank
she's
you.
still like is holding a part of anything in your life, or if she's still
Mm-hmm.
like checking up on you and like you haven't like spoken your truth, like there's something that you're in your life that you're like, well, I can't tell mom that, even if you're like 30. It's like, no, like you have to sever completely so
Yes.
that you can re-emerge in a new constellation where you're not being mothered and coddled.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the number
Mm-hmm.
one thing that men are suffering from in the West, I believe. Is like
Mm-hmm.
men have been under fathered and over mothered.
Yes. Yes, 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 100%. Boom. Thank you for saying that. I see that all the time, and I can see what it does in the couples I work with. The women
Right.
are now stepping in as mom, and there's this weird like fight almost because the guy doesn't really want it because he's already being mothered by his actual mother, right? And
Yep.
then it's like too reminiscent, and then the sex goes um
No polarity there.
no polarity. So I'm assuming when you started to, because this is what happened to me. Once I started doing my body work, money started flowing, right? And this
Oh
is
yeah.
money, sex, and God. So
100%.
once you did the bioenergetics and you got into your body, was that your turning point to the abundance and the richness?
I mean, there were multiple. That was definitely like I remember the first turning point though was actually my voice. So it
Mm-hmm.
was unlocking my voice and channeling like freestyle and spoken word and rap in a way that had always just been a hobby,
You
but
know I'm
starting.
gonna make you do that before you get off, right?
I mean, I can definitely drop a little bit.
Fuck
Um,
yeah. All right, keep going.
but that was when I was like signed my first real coaching client and transitioned my private yoga clients and hit a new level of abundance. That was like a really important one, and I feel like it's worth mentioning because that's not so much sex, although it's sexy, but it's like money and God. Like it's God channel, like the
Yes.
voice and that God channel, and like getting out of the way
Yep.
unlocked my money. Um,
Totally.
and then yeah, the body. Like once I unlayered and got into these crazy states of like it felt like insanity. Like honestly, like I've sat with ayahuasca. Like there's nothing to compare it to besides
Mm-hmm.
that because it's a
Mm-hmm.
ceremonial death, rebirth, like past life regression, childhood,
Yeah.
trauma regression, whatever you want to call it. Tapping into that level of power, like it kind of like it made a lot of my stories seem like bullshit. And I was constantly at the time, studying entrepreneurship, money mindset, like constantly in the game, like I was working for Bulletproof at the time, going to these like 100K masterminds with Tony
Yeah.
Robbins and JP Sears, Joe Polish, all these hitters, and serving them nootropics and supplements and coffee and like selling it to them and like just learning by watching. So
Exactly.
it all hit at once, and that definitely unlocked a huge layer of abundance for me. This was about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. It can be that quick, right? Like it can
Yeah.
be like it sounds like your bioenergetic experience and my sexual awakening experience were like the same thing. Where like our story is no longer really like now I just laugh at it, right? And like
Right.
all of a sudden things got really sexy, really juicy, really huge, really big, like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's available for everyone.
It is.
It's like, and that's what I want to like scream from the rooftops. And we can't make anyone do it.
You have to self-select for this kind of stuff. Like no one, even if they brought you to it, you wouldn't go all the way.
Yeah.
This is the nature of this stuff, and the beautiful thing is that life has a way of bringing you to it, whether you know it or not. So
Yeah.
for some people, it looks like bankruptcy or a divorce, but you
Right.
will find your way to this work in some form.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what's coming up next no, I'm a big vision girl. I want to know what's the big, like when you close your eyes and you let your spirit roam and you see yourself in 5, 10 years or something, time doesn't really matter, but let's just pretend. And you're like, yes, fuck yeah, my spirit has arrived. I have arrived. I'm here doing the stuff.
Yeah,
What are you doing? Where are you? I want to know so we can create it.
amazing. I mean, I've literally been doing this high-level vision work at a new level for the past like week.
Boom.
So I'm very fresh. And the first thing that came in is like, I'm still traveling, but I have one, if not three, high-level curated manifestation mansions in the blue zones of the planet. So I'm talking Greece, Portugal, Costa Rica, Bali, maybe one in LA. And inside of that is the most gridded, high-vibe, sacred hip-hop and music recording studio, as well as a curated like tantric temple, like sensual and divine embodiment like venue where I host like highly curated events for men and women, VIP, like high level like leaders and change makers who by working with them and facilitating for them What's that, brother?
Big fire where you are.
Oh, wow.
See
Oh, downtown LA is on fire right now, everyone.
Oh God.
Yeah, no surprises here. Hashtag Babylon.
Exactly.
So, yeah, bless my journey right now. I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one piece. Producing multiple sacred hip hop albums, spoken word pieces that are like blowing up the world and just awakening people in a mass way. And I want a full like online university too, where I'm not constantly in the trenches, so to speak, but I'm just like producing highly valuable microdose courses that anyone could download and just like get like 5 years of my experiences. And there's like a whole academy for that, and I'm training people to like learn my modalities and philosophies. And I just have a soul tribe that I can jet set anywhere in the world with, and we can vibe design a golden age festival at the drop of a feather.
That's it. That's it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's it is you. It is so you. It is so you. I just love it. I adore
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for receiving that, you and everyone. Let's hold
We're-
it together. I want to know your visions too.
Yeah, we're all really excited. You already know about my weekend weekend retreat that I envision, right? I told you about this.
You did.
My island in the middle of the sea where everyone's naked and no one has to have consent or boundary conversations because we're all up leveled and know what the fuck to do. That's where I want to go.
Wow.
And you can bring your sacred hip hop and your tantric temples there. They will be well received. We'll love them.
Great. Good to know.
All right, so I'm ready to hear you. You want to drop something for us?
See what's coming up. Well, as I drive this metal vehicle through the mean streets of Babylon, I realize I just babble on, speaking into the words and the songs. I see myself moving through the throngs of the people, just like, hey, y'all, let's tear down the steeples. We can bring out that golden age weebo, because we go, delete ego. I see, though, that we, though, thought we knew, though, but we didn't, because I know that I know nothing. Socratic methods, there's something. Buddha and Tara said it first. Divine alchemy, that's our universe, yoni-verse, inside my verse. It's not a curse, I'm gonna lift it with a bless. You know I'm chilling with the best, breathing in my chest. Genevieve got her power, sacred island of Tantra. I looked into the center of the mandala, that's yantra. You know how I'm chilling? I see Jesus the way, the truth, and the life. I say we all are the way. No need to be in that strife, be in that war, be in that knife. Nah, we got love, we got truth, we got beauty, we got impeccability, unfuck with ability, golden agents of humanity. The time is now, you see.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
Bless.
I'm like,
that was
I
fun.
love it. Everyone's giving you hearts. They all are. That was dope. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fuck yeah.
Anything else you want to tell all the people? Did we talk about sex? We didn't really talk about sex much. Give us your.
Not really.
Give us your sex. Something on sex.
I mean, the hot code that you actually shared on my podcast in an interview that I've both been practicing and having a lot of conversations about is for men out there. The up level, fuck yes, secret button is the prostate. And
Hell yeah.
That's a game changer. It's been a game. I mean, I've known about it for years and done that, and it's like, whoa, new levels. So
like,
that feels really important.
Talk about fucking embodiment. Talk about receiving. Talk about grounding.
Yeah.
Talk about presence. Like, maybe people keep talking about anal and prostate stuff on my live, so I think at some point we should just create like an anal temple. That'll be next to your tantra temple. We'll have an anal temple for all of us because it's there's magic, right? There's magic there. So thank you for sharing about it so openly. What is it?
Totally.
What's the magic for you?
Well, like, this is like a good cue, and shout out to Michael Osofsky, total brother that like cued me into this. It's like for most men, like a great cue for the men out there is like relax your perineum, relax your
Yeah.
asshole. Like I like as a practice, because like most of us, like, you know, the tight ass in language is real. Like it's that's like a lot of people, including myself in the past, just like holding that tension all day long, just like, you know, and it's just like you consciously relaxing that. It's kind of like mula bandha. If you've worked with that in yoga, like the root lock, you know, like how that changes your entire energetic flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just for yoga. This is literally like all day long in relationship and obviously in intimacy, and like the physicality, like that changes everything. And it's meditative too.
Yeah.
It's like highly meditative.
You know, and I'm a full, you know, I know you know this about me, but like same idea that like awareness of our genitals, awareness of our prostate, or your prostate, my anus, right? Like awareness of my nipples, awareness of my lips and my skin and my curves. That should be a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week process, right? Like we
Totally.
don't ever need to let that go. And so I love that you said like to drop into that all the time and relax that and really ground. That's what makes money, sex, and God possible.
Bingo.
Right? It's sex isn't a thing we do. It's who we are all the time.
Right.
You know, and I know you know that. I can feel that in you. And I think all the women are all like,
yeah.
oh my God, he's so hot. It's good feedback.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it's good feedback. Like if you're getting that feedback, we know we're in radiance, right? So we just keep moving there. I love it. Thank you so much. People are like dropping tons of comments and asking questions, and let us know, guys, what Kevin and I should do live, because we're supposed to do something live. So if you're watching, something's supposed to happen.
We want to know.
Yeah, we want to know so that we can make it happen for you. Anything else, love, before you run?
Just honor, gratitude to you, appreciation. Yeah, the code is full permission, being a permissionary for radical upgrades in money, sex, and God and goddess. And yeah, you're incredible. You're a beacon. So many people are seeing you. Since you've been come into my field, I just like have seen how much you are radiating, and I'm happy to radiate alongside.
Hell yeah, it's two suns, right?
Yes.
Two suns radiating from opposite sides of the U.S. I can feel you. Keep going, brother.
I will.
Right?
I will. You do the same.
Thank you, hun. Bye.
Ciao.